Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jacob, and welcome back to Dressed Rehearsal, the podcast where Broadway and fashion take center stage, and we dive deep on the roles that shape us on stage and off. Today's guest is Bella Coppola. Bella is known for her diva turns in both Six and Smash on Broadway. The girl knows how to sing. If you didn't get a chance to see the Broadway production of Smash last season, do yourself a favor and run to the original TV series. The show is a campy, wildly fun look inside the drama of building a new Broadway show. At the center is the chaotic process of bringing a Marilyn Monroe musical to life, with big personalities, even bigger songs, and all the backstage tension that comes with making theater magic. Beyond the stage, Bella is also carving out her own lane in music. Her new EP, One Night Stand, is out now and available to stream. It shows off a playful pop sensibility that feels so distinctly Bella. It has been really fun to see that side of her artistry come through outside of the theater as she continues to shape her own signature sound and style. That individuality also shows up in her fashion. She leans into glamour, and I mean, the gal cannot resist a glitter moment. I hope you enjoy my conversation with Bella Coppola. And welcome Bella Coppola to the podcast. How are you, Bella?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. We start out every episode of the podcast with when did you get bit by the theater bug?
Ooh, probably I did like my first show when I was like, I don't know, maybe five, but it wasn't like it was like a dance recital show of Annie, question mark? That sounds weird. And I was in like the tap number and I just think I was like, this is it for me, like I'm gonna keep performing. I'm gonna keep doing this. And then I did my like first show pretty soon after that. I did Seussical and I was like a baby cat in the hat. Like it was like all the little kids were like an ensemble of baby cat in the hats and that too. I just was like, "Oh, I love this. Like I'm gonna keep doing this."
I am obsessed. There was someone on the red carpet for Ragtime since the composers are the same as Seussical, and they were asking everyone what Seussical character would you be? And I'm like, not the Renaissance of Seussical in 2026.
Wait, that's fun. I do feel like people really love that show, which valid.
Valid, but wild choice.
True.
Growing up, did you know that this was gonna be a serious commitment for you, or was it kind of just a fun thing that evolved to oh, maybe I'll go to college?
I feel like it was always something I loved, but I guess I didn't think about doing it. I mean, I don't know. I feel like when I was like 13 maybe I was like, "No, you know what? I want to like go to a good high school with a good arts program." And so I feel like it kind of started there. Like I knew I wanted to like start training. I wanted to like get a proper voice teacher and look into high schools with my mom of a good place to go. And then I think from there, you learn more in high school and you're like, oh, now I want to like study it. So yeah, it was always something I loved to do. Like I loved it so much. So I guess I kind of always knew too that I would like pursue it hardcore.
And were there people in the business early on that you looked up to and you're like, oh, that's the kind of performer I want to work towards being?
Hmm. Of course. I don't know why I said that like that. Like as if
Duh.
there's none.
You're
No, no one inspired
actually,
me.
not a one. I'm actually inspired by me. It's me, divas.
Me. No, no, no. I would say like when I was in high school and studying voice more seriously, my voice teacher, because I was in high school around the time that it was very much like the princess sound. Like Sutton Foster, Laura Osnes, Sierra Boggess, they were all kind of like on Broadway at that time. And obviously, like I loved that and I loved what they were doing. But my voice teacher was like, that's not what you do though. Like you don't sing like that. And I
Mhm.
was like, but what do you mean? Like those are the girls that I'm seeing that are on Broadway. Like they sound so amazing and like Disney and whatever. And so he gave me like a bunch of Judy Garland CDs and he was like, "Do you hear how she sings like more like warm and it's like a richer tone? Like that's more your thing. Like that's more of what like you're gonna do." And so I think it was nice to kind of have an example of like, oh, okay, like because yeah, I don't sound like these like kind of like ingenue women that I'm seeing on Broadway at the time. Like it was nice to have an example of like, oh, I can kind of like I don't know, be inspired by somebody else. And so I guess Judy Garland was definitely a big inspiration for me. Yeah, I would say her.
Right, like there are ingenues that fill that like Anastasia, like that whole world, but then there's like the Stephanie J. Blocks of the world where it's like you're just going
Yes.
for it and just like ripping into a song, and they're both
Right.
so beautiful in their own way.
Exactly. Yeah. There's different kinds of sounds and people. So, yeah.
Kinky Boots was the first show you did in New York. And what do you feel like it does to a performer being in like such a joy fest every night? Because I feel like almost every show you've done in New York has been just like a very high energy, like electric sensibility, which is probably such a lucky thing to not have to like go into the trenches
Yeah.
every single day.
No, that's true. I definitely like am in the comedy world for sure, which is nice. No, it was so fun and like that was my first like big job with like such a like iconic creative team, like working with Jerry Mitchell and Stephen Aramis and all those guys. And in like such an iconic show too. That only it hadn't even been closed on Broadway for that long, I don't think. Yeah, no, it was like so fun and like it was so fun getting to be on the treadmills every night. Like I don't know if you ever saw it, but there's like the big number with the treadmills and yeah, it's nice getting to go to work and, not having to do, I guess, a more like serious moment. Of course, like that would be maybe fun at some point, but it is kind of nice that it's mostly been like the upbeat moments.
It is funny that they transferred Kinky Boots like so soon after it closed. And I will say, my dad, straight man in Florida, obsessed with Kinky Boots. Like he
Really?
thinks it's like the best show that he's ever seen. And I'm like, no, yeah, like I can get behind that. And I'm like, yeah,
Oh, I
no,
love that.
you're not target demo, but like, yeah, we're
And
we're set.
yet, maybe he is. Maybe he is.
Who's to say? So after Kinky Boots, you went on to be in Six on Broadway for your debut. And
Mhm.
I know you've talked about before going in multiple times for Six, and I'm curious like what returning to that room over and over again taught you just like about resilience.
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like it was a really good learning lesson because it was one of my first times, and maybe ever, I guess, that I've been in for a show like multiple times. So like, I really thought I was gonna get it the first time I went in for it. Like I really was like, this, I know I'm right for this show. I'm getting it. It's like this is the show. And I got like cut immediately and thankfully was given feedback like, go work on your dancing. And so I did and coming back in again was like, okay, you know what? Let's be more realistic. Like my goal this time is not to book it, it's to get past the first round since I didn't
Mm,
do that the first. And so I did, and I even got feedback like, "Great work! Like we see that you've worked on your dancing." And I was like, "Okay, look, this is the win." Made it all the way to the end of that process. Didn't get it again. And then I guess by like this would be my seventh time in the room, but like third kind of production I was going in for
mhm.
this time for the Broadway production. I just kind of had the mindset of like, all right, like I've shown them what I can do. I've done everything that I can. I guess I should just go in there and like have a good time because who knows, maybe they'll call me in seven more times. Like I guess by the end I was just more relaxed about it. So I could kind of just go in there and do my thing and then, it all works out. So I think what it taught me and that could be valuable for somebody coming into these auditions is like there's nothing wrong with you booking it like it taking you seven times versus someone else twice because it doesn't really it's not really about that. It's like a puzzle piece for them and like the associate music director Roberta ended up saying to me, she was like, we always knew that we wanted you, we just weren't sure where and like when. And it worked out because like I got to do it on Broadway, which was obviously awesome. So yeah, I think with these big like machine shows, Wicked, Hamilton, you hear a lot that people kind of have to go in for them a good amount of time sometimes, but it doesn't mean that, it's a no. It just means like might take some times to figure it out. Yeah, I
Right.
feel like it just taught me that like that's kind of how things go sometimes with auditions.
And by the end of it, I feel like there are so many stories of people that are like, the minute I just like thought I had no shot and just like threw shit at the wall is the minute
Yeah.
like it passed through. And you do look at like long running shows like a Wicked. Like Mary-Kate Marcy was in Wicked for 10 years before she was like Principal Elphaba on Broadway and like
Right.
blew up on social media. And so it's like, yeah, maybe you have like the route of like, oh, I'm gonna be a standby on tour. Like there are so many ways to get to the same ending. And so you still got there eventually, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it all worked out.
And there is this like narrative, I feel like, that has gone away of like women in the business being very competitive. And it feels very outdated. And Six, I feel like, continues to be a testament of like this gem of just like entirely female energy. And how do you feel
Mhm.
like that being your debut shifted the way you approach the business?
I do think like I was lucky in that I don't feel like that was ever my kind of mindset coming
Yeah.
into the business. You know, I went to Texas State and got my BFA in musical theater there. And the training there was just super like crunchy and like had emphasis on mental health and like also thankfully the class I was with, like we're all still super close now. We were all super different, so it just never felt like necessary to compare. And you know, the head of my program at the time, Caitlin Hopkins, I feel like really instilled in our brains that like someone else's win is not your loss. Like it's, you know, everybody's path is these cliches, like, but they're
Yeah.
true. Like everybody's path is different. And like, um, yeah, like it just, I feel like I kind of already had that mindset, which is nice because I do feel like that kind of used to be how the industry was, but um it's just not necessary to, you know, it's like I really do believe in like the phrase of like what's meant for me won't pass me by and everything happens for a reason. So with that being said, it was so fun going into six though, and like I loved my cast, like that group of girls, all of us, like alternates included, we all were super close. We hung out like every two show day in between shows, like ordering food and like we were always in that building. I swear, like that whole year, I feel like my whole life was six. But it is so nice that, you know, with a show like that where everybody gets their moment, you know, everybody gets to like shine at some point. And so there's no use in kind of being like, you know, this person's better or not. Like it just, I feel like Six is a nice show where it helps you kind of like celebrate everybody, which is lovely.
Plus, I feel like everyone that's in the show comes in with like different levels of like someone might have been in 10 shows and this might be other people's debuts. Like, how do you feel like you learned from your other queens, like on just like how to survive an 8 show week?
Yeah, that's so true. Because for me, it was my debut, and there was a couple other girls that had done, you know, good amount of shows. I feel like I learned a lot from them, and you know, I feel like anytime I had kind of business questions or like just things that you don't really think about before you're in a building of like, how do I talk to a company manager? Like that's something that I feel
Hmm.
like I learned from watching my dressing roommate Leandra Ellis Gaston, you know, things like that that are like I don't know, you just kind of learn by watching. How do I approach when a producer comes into the building? Like what is that like? I'm, you know, things like that. And then I think just like the 8 show week of it all is like it's nice to have the example of the women that had done shows before, cuz like Leandra, like, you know, she was a beast. Like she was not calling out. She was doing that show. And I think it was good to have like that example of like, you know, take care of yourself, obviously, but like, you know, you're here to do the job. And so I learned so much from all of them.
I also have heard you talk about the flattenay of wearing flats during matinees. And I think
Yes.
one thing though is like when it's your Broadway debut, like to be confident enough to like ask, like, I need this modification, otherwise I can't do these. Like it is like a big deal to like have a voice and be like, yeah, so can we change this because this is not working for me.
Yes, I know. I do make the joke though that they won't ever have me back because I just love the flat shoe option.
Love it.
But they like provided it. I think at the beginning I was just like my calves are dying. Like I'm not used to wearing these like 4 inch. I think the heels are shorter now. Like I think after our company, I think honestly every single company they've like modified things to make things better,
Hilarious.
which is good. But our heels are so high, and like I just like look, I can dance. Like I've danced in most of the shows I've done. Like I'll get by, but I'm not a dancer, and my body is not like trained for that. So even just wearing this heel for 90 minutes with like no breaks, I was like, I'm hurting you guys. I need help. So yeah, they offered the flat option for the matinees, which was very lovely, and I definitely used it.
You're like, yeah, so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna run with it. Like,
Oh, and I'm gonna run with it. Yeah.
yeah, you'll never see me in a heel again. Sorry, divas. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about Smash, of course. You were in the earlier stages, like before the show was on Broadway. And so I'm
Mhm.
curious for you what it was like collaborating on like building a show with Marc Shaiman and Scott Wittman, like what that whole experience looked like for you.
It was amazing. I mean, it was like my dream come true. That's like what I kind of thought, because like being a replacement is just a different thing. So getting to originate, I was like, oh, this is like what I always envisioned like Broadway would feel like.
Hmm.
And yeah, getting to like create my own character and with like such an insane team like of lovely people and the cast included, just like Broadway vets was I learned so much. I mean, even in that workshop the year before, I was like shaking in my boots, like feeling like the baby and the cast and feeling like I wanted to prove, like please keep me for Broadway because
Yeah.
that can happen. And just kind of learning like how to communicate with the team and like when it's necessary to say stuff and not. But I feel like for the majority I kind of like sat back and like watched like how are these like vets communicating things about their character or their costumes or like things like that came up a year later when it was Broadway and like in tech and how to be like, can I wear this instead? Or why do I say this line? Like, kind of, I feel like I found the confidence throughout that year of like, okay, you guys, I have the contract now. I'm here. Obviously, you guys want me to be here. So I'm going to try to like speak up a little bit more. But yeah, it's a lot like putting up a new show, but it was like, top to bottom, it just was like an amazing experience. Like, getting to have that opening night, like that's one of the best memories for sure. It just was so magical and yeah, it was lovely.
I also feel like you manifested from the flats to then like you had the most comfortable costume of all time. Like you were literally wearing athleisure. Like does it get
For
like that
sure.
is so like okay. And I feel like Shaman and Whitman are just like so show busy. Like Hairspray, Catch Me If You Can, like all these shows are just like
Yeah.
so Broadway with a capital B. And
Yeah.
is there another one of their shows that you would like love to be in one day?
Oh, I'll be in their next new one.
Oh, love.
Although I will say, like, I grew up watching the Hairspray movie, like, on repeat. Like,
Duh.
I loved it so much. So even that is such a full circle moment. And I watched Smash and, like, loved these songs. And they are capital B Broadway, which I love because I feel like a lot of new shows now are just very contemporary pop rock, which is great and we love it. But, like, I was really excited to get to like sing like a Broadway score. Like that was so just thrilling. Yeah, it was
I don't know if
awesome.
you've seen on TikTok, there's this guy, Josh, who has the Hairspray Awareness Task Force, HCAT.
Oh,
And it's the funniest thing ever. He like just wants to educate the world about the Hairspray 2007 movie and why it's like the
really?
most perfect piece of cinema ever. And I'm like, you know what? You're doing the Lord's work. Like, sure,
Wow. I have
sure.
not seen that, but I I'm
It,
I'm with him probably.
it'll come up on your For You page now.
Okay, great.
And I think a cool part of also being in a show that is new is that you got to be a part of the cast album. And
Mhm.
I'm always curious because the show obviously is changing every single night. How do you choose like which versions that you're going to record? Like which version you want to have for posterity?
Oh, that's a good point because I think we did the whole album and then the finale. I guess it was kind of a rare situation because although this is a new show, most of our score came straight
True.
from the TV show. These songs are already so iconic. So I think we really only had to go in again and change the finale because that was like the only new song. But then it was kind of fun. Like I had this like little reprise of a song in Act Two, like cut print or whatever. And in the recorded version, we did do a slightly like elongated moment. So I got to sing a little bit more on the album than I did actually like in the show. So that was fun. But, again, that's not really that's all their decision. So they
Yes.
decided it. I'm happy with it.
You're like, perfect, a little bit of more. Bella, sure, we'll take
Yeah,
it.
sure. I'll do it.
And there is a quote in Smash, every day you set sail for that elusive white whale. And I'm curious, like, for you, what you feel like those white whales in the business are, like those milestones that you're like, oh, I'm dying to do this, or like, I'm dying to like release an album.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to originate another role on Broadway. Like I would absolutely love to do that. I would love and like kind of like in a comedic setting, in a dramatic setting, like, all I want to be someone that's like originating multiple roles on Broadway. Like that would be amazing. I also really want to get into TV film. I want to like hit those milestones of like guest star and like series regular, those like big TV film jobs. Like that would be amazing to kind of get into that world. I want to keep releasing music and I've released all my music on my own. So if there's someone that could help me with that financially, or it's like a label, like I don't know what that means specifically because I'm not trying to like pursue music full time. Anything to kind of help with that because I do just like I love making it. Like it's, my creative outlet when I'm not acting. But yeah, I kind of just I want to do all the things.
Well, we're manifesting all of it. And if an angel investor is listening and wants to just bankroll Bella's next album, like, we're open for business.
We're so open.
And I just listened to the Signs of Life album, which is gorgeous. And
Oh yeah.
there are some like unreal talents on this album. You, Jen Colella,
Yes.
Shoshana Bean, Soleil Pfeiffer, like I could keep going on. Like, what can you tell us
That's
about this
very nice.
project? Like, how did it come into your life?
Yeah, I know that this is a new show. They've been working on it all the writers based in Seattle and the producing team is as well. I know they did a workshop like last year, I think, but they asked me to do the demo of it in the fall and like sing this song for Leo. It's basically about this boy who is like going through a journey and all these women are representing the like the astrological signs and they either like teach him a lesson or whatnot. And so I played Leo. Shout out to the Leos of the world. I'm not a Leo, I'm a Cancer. But yeah, so I did this recording and then they did this concert in Seattle, which they asked me to be a part of, where, yeah, we all like sung our song and it was very fun. The team is super lovely. There might be some other things coming up for it, but I don't think I can say anything yet because I don't think anything's announced. But the project definitely has like some legs, some traction. Yeah, we'll see.
Love. And we mentioned it a little bit before, but you have your own music. And
Mm-hmm.
I am curious, like, was writing something always like in your creative palette, or like where did that music muscle come from?
I feel like when I was little, I would like write little songs in my because I've always journaled. And so I feel like I've always kind of written songs, but it wasn't until my sophomore year of college where we did this class called Sophomore Project. Everybody kind of had to do something creative on their own, and I ended up writing this song called I Regret Nothing, like in collaboration with my class, and ended up releasing it because like one of my good friends was studying sound engineering, so it all kind of just like worked out and people were very nice about it and just kind of gave me the confidence to keep doing it and keep releasing music. And it's just nice because as an actor you have these in between periods where you're not working, and so it's nice to like work on music. Or like in January I did a show at Joe's Pub, and like it was nice prepping for that and having something I knew like I would be performing and it was all in my control. And yeah, it's always, yeah, it's a nice part of my life and I really enjoy making music.
I feel like the control is like the most important part because the minute you don't have to ask a casting director for permission to be creative is the minute that like you can really just like see what flows. And there's such
Yeah.
like a liberation behind, oh, I can like make my own magic without needing permission behind it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's the best part about it. And obviously sometimes when I'm in it, I'm like, oh, I miss when someone just can tell me what to
Yeah.
do because it's like can be stressful, but then it's always worth it. Like once you get to that show, it's like, oh, this I love doing this.
I also think we're at a cool time where like I've heard you in the past say that like you'd love to have like a theater X pop music career, kind of like a Reneé Rapp. And the industry used to be so rigid and like pigeonhole people. And I
Yeah.
feel like Adina Menzel talked about this a lot of like how she wanted to have this pop rock career and that was going to be like her next life. And the
Hmm.
business was very much like, you do this and you're going to stay in this box. Do you feel like the attitude has changed? Because I feel like performers now are expected to do a million different things.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm seeing people that are doing it, so I'm gonna do that too. That's funny that you say Adina because I feel like she even, I mean, I guess sure, she's not like known as like a pop rock singer, but
Yeah.
like she has and originated two iconic roles. I mean, more than two probably, but like, Rent and
Yeah.
Wicked, like iconic roles on Broadway, is in movies, in TV, is voicing one of the most like iconic characters for Disney. Like I look at people's careers like that. Like I said, Reneé Rapp, like she's done Broadway, she does music, she's done a movie, she's was a series regular. Like people that kind of can like do all the things, like
Mhm.
that's really exciting to me. Like, yeah, and I don't feel like, I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's not a you can only do one of them,
Right.
but I feel like people do kind of do all the things now. So I
Yeah.
would like to do that too.
Well, Adina was saying she was like, after Rent, she got a record deal, and then the label dropped her after like a year because she was. And I was like,
Oh,
we always forget all the ebbs and flows because we're only looking at
yeah,
when things hit. And so I think
right.
also like being honest about like, yeah, no, I got dropped. Like, it wasn't
Yeah,
irreconcilable differences. Like, it didn't work. And
right.
I also think a fun moment in time was when Reneé Rapp and Sabrina Carpenter were both in Mean Girls for like
I
three
know.
nights.
That is
Is
crazy.
is there like a cast or show from the past that you're like, oh, I would love to have been front row for that. Like I would die to see that.
Ooh, I mean, I do wish I could have seen Jessica Vosk's Elphaba because I remember in college like my friend saw it. She was like sending me like voice memos of her singing it. I just feel like her singing that score is just like one of the most iconic Elphabas. Yeah, I guess her and that. And then this is so random, but I love like the score of City of Angels. I like listen to that a lot. It's not a lot, but like when I'm listening to theater, it's like just so jazzy and fun. Like would have been cool to see a show like that.
You're like every single morning, it is my alarm clock. That is how I wake up and enter the world.
I'm like, wait, no, I'm not listening to theater all the
And
time.
you're like, actually, sorry guys, that wasn't true.
That snuck out.
And for your solo music, who do you feel like are kind of like your music influences, like kind of like your holy trinity of like, oh, I love that sound, like that has really made an impact on me.
I feel like Alicia Keys' sound definitely has influenced me like that and Rihanna like in the R&B sense because I feel like my music is like pop but with some like R&B and funk inspiration. So definitely them for those kinds of songs I write, but then also like I would say like Lake Street Dive,
Loved.
Melt, and what's the other one I would say? Sammy Ray. Like those kind of like more like funky big bands. Like for my big songs, I would say I kind of fuse those pairings. But I'm currently writing a new EP that's like very much more like singer-songwriter Lizzie McAlpine kind of like
Love.
sad girl songs. So I'm kind of experimenting and yeah, I hope to like I have no plan of a release date because again, it's like I kind of need the funds to make it happen,
Yeah.
but I have the song. So, yeah, I'm excited for that to kind of try something new.
I think that's cool too of like that you don't have to adopt one singular like this is my sound. Like I can like tap in.
Yeah,
And you even look at like singer-songwriters, like you look at like the Carole Kings of the world. It's like she wrote so many songs for other people that might not have been like in her brand or her voice that are still so successful. And like the same creative vessel can create so many different types of music. And it
for
doesn't
sure.
have to be, or even like a Beyonce, like every album has its own
Yeah,
identity. And it's so cool to
right.
kind of like track the true artists that really are just like my artistry has no confines. Like let me just explore these different avenues.
For sure. And it's also like I'm doing this all on my own. Like, hey, if someday a label wants to sign me and they have an opinion, sure. But for now, no one's with me. So I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever I want because I can.
We also have to get into your fashion, and you wore this unreal gold dress for your solo show. So I want to know like how you put that look together, like what was your inspo? Because you love a glitter moment.
I do. I do. I do. I love. That's so like nice of you to say because I feel like style I feel like I've come a long way. I feel like in six I was learning like, oh, I need to have pieces ready to go because we are asked constantly to like do press things and there was a press event for six where I literally forgot my dress at home and like Nasia literally threw me her dress. Leandra was like, use my curling iron. Like I was given shoes, like so sweet of them.
It's like a
Um,
little kid in their like
but
dad's blazer because they just like didn't have any jackets. You're like, oh, we'll
no,
take a little bit of
literally.
this.
Yeah, Leandra was like, I don't know what that curling iron's gonna do for you. And I was like, well, we're gonna see. But yeah, I feel like I've come a long way. Like going into Smash, I was like, I need to get some pieces. Like even now, just like I feel like, we're also asked to do concerts. And so you just kind of need a gown. You need a gown ready. And so I feel like now I know, like, okay, it's like, it's if I'm going to spend a little money on a dress, it's going to be okay because I'm going to use it like multiple times. But I also have an amazing connection with McDougal, which is lovely. And so they sent me that gold dress for my concert. I like send them a couple options and then they sent me that one. And I think it's honestly like just the short version of what I wore for my Smash opening night
No,
and
I
in a
thought that
different
too.
color.
And I wasn't sure.
I didn't
I'm like,
realize that and yeah, I did not realize that until after and I was like, "Oh, I just really love this cut and like this exact same thing." But yeah, both of those are from McDougal. I love their dresses, like just super high quality and I always feel so beautiful in them. Yeah. Yeah,
hey, I mean, you know what you look good in, so you might as well just like keep rocking with that look.
for
And
sure.
for the Smash opening night, like, did you know you wanted to do like glamour, glitz, just like so Broadway capital B? Like, was that your plan all along?
I think like initially, well, okay, to be honest, I like wanted to save money because like
Period.
could have hired a stylist and, done all that thing. I do love hiring a stylist because again, like I don't naturally have that eye, but that's when I got the connection with McDougal, which was awesome because then I was like, okay, I'm gonna like rent a dress from them. So let me just like do it based on what they have. Because originally I was like, I want to do like a Marilyn inspired dress. Like she has this, I think it's Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, where it's this orange dress. I think that's like, I don't even know how to describe it now, but just this gorgeous dress that she wore. And I remember being like, I want to do something like that, but in like a navy blue or something. That was the original intent. And then I got this amazing opportunity to work with McDougal but loved like then found this gorgeous sparkly and the halter kind of gives Marilyn a little bit too.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I mean I ended up feeling so beautiful in that and it was so glitz and glam and again working in a theater you have people that are amazing at alterations so people were making sure everything fit perfectly and yeah I loved that it's fun getting to get all dressed up for these big life events.
And I think something that's interesting is like you grew up in California, went to college in Texas, live in New York now. Like those are very different places for style. And do you
Mhm.
feel like every time you've lived in each one, like it's influenced your style, or do you feel like just growing up, you've kind of like evolved into like this is how I want to like dress?
No, definitely. Because I remember when I went to Texas, I like immediately was doing the kind of like sorority girl style where you get the really big t-shirt that like goes all the way down. You wear like the little biker short that peaks underneath it.
Yeah.
I definitely bought like cowboy boots when I was in Texas. Although cowboy boots are like now a thing here, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of fun. But I guess maybe less so here, because like the fashion here is like so cool and like I mean like the Brooklyn girls are really sporting a look.
Yeah.
And definitely I'll be like inspired by it, but I don't think anybody is calling me like the number one fashion girl, and that is okay. I'm trying my
Yeah.
best. As long as I feel good and look good, like it's good enough for me.
Is there like a go-to thing that you'll put on for auditions that makes you feel good and you're just like, oh, I feel so myself and in my body right now?
I had this audition outfit for six for all the times that I felt really fierce, and it was like this little black dress with a gold belt and these gold like platform heels. And then I think I like lost the belt or something and the shoes when I went back in the last time. And so I was like, where is this cool outfit? And I wore like literally an ugly outfit. Like it was just like these black jeans and this white tank top and everything fit me kind of weird. But then I got it anyway. So you know what? It's just it doesn't matter, I guess.
So maybe the first outfit was actually cursed.
I guess it was.
And, and something cool that you have coming up is that you're performing in Taiwan. And
Yes.
I'm curious, like, how cool is it to like get to go see the world just like through performing?
It's amazing. And I feel like I've always said, like, all right, if I'm not doing an acting job, like, I would love to get in this kind of like circuit of these concerts that happen, getting paid to travel somewhere new. Like, I've never been to Taiwan. Who knows if I ever would have been to Taiwan, but
Right.
now I'm going. Seattle too. Like, I'd never been to Seattle. So, no, I'm so excited. I literally like was zooming on a Zoom yesterday with Susan Egan, who's like doing it, and she's like talking to me about again what we're gonna wear and all these things, and MK's doing it, which is great because love MK. Yeah, I'm like so excited to get to go be there for a week and sing and yeah, live my life.
I mean, if only there was golf for you and Mary Kate to hit up
Uh,
in Taiwan, you could really reprise your iconic
she'll
time
probably
on
find
the.
it.
Yeah, no.
She'll find it.
You can make your epic return to the green.
I need to because I did a really good job.
I do think though, especially like for Mary Kate, like it's so cool to have things outside of theater that are like lighting you up inside. And I'm curious for you, do you feel like that's your solo music or are there like other outlets that are like feeding you right now?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like my music. I've recently, this is crazy of me to say, but I've recently become a runner. So I
Hello?
enjoy running, which is insane. And by running, I mean like a jog. But I
You know what? That's
just
more than I'm doing.
it's just it helps me kind of like process my emotions in my day and it has felt great. This is crazy. And then just like, my like social life, seeing friends and going out and you're able to go out a bit more when you're not in a 8-show week. So definitely like enjoy that. I'm like so excited for it to get warm again because I feel like everybody's been hibernating.
Yes.
Um yeah, when it gets warm, like a bike ride, that really fills my cup. I love a city bike.
Yeah, that feels right. And I feel like when you're in a show, like once you leave and you come out to the real world, you're like, hey, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm back.
Yeah.
I can be your friend again. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still here.
Right.
So I'm sure this time is exciting for that of like, oh, I get to just like be a human being again.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And also, I'm ready to go back to work.
Yeah, that feels right. And we close every episode asking what you hope your signature stamp is on the industry, what you hope you're leaving rooms with.
Ooh. I I think that I would love to be leaving rooms with people being like first talking about who I am as a person, like, she is funny and nice and talented. I guess those three things is like what I want to leave people with. Like if people, connect with my art, but most importantly, that they're not saying I'm like mean. Would never.
That feels like a really good like TBH for middle school. Like you're funny, you're nice, and you're really talented.
That's so real. Why did I pick those three basic
No,
words?
but that feels perfect. Like if I got that TBH, I'd be like, oh, so I'm the most popular girl in the world.
So true. Yeah, I'm sticking to it.
Well, thank you, Bella. It was such a treat to have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
And that's our show. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to Dressed Rehearsal. If you love theater and fashion as much as we do, invite another diva to join the community. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, all the places. See you next time.